Calling here to go over how to create some more movement in your low back. For a lot of people, they have what's called a flat back, which means that literally there's no arch in the low back, and as a result they don't have a pelvis that can tip forward very easily, and they tend to kind of tuck their pelvis underneath. It's like tucking your tail, and when that happens it starts to change your body mechanics when you go to walk or ride a bike or anything like that that might need or recruit these muscles through the back of the legs and glutes. What we want you to really be able to do is get a little arch in there so that when you go to push off from a step, your glutes, which are some of the strongest muscles in your body, can actually engage and help to push you forward. Otherwise, your hip flexors and through here are going to start taking over, which continues to pull the person forward into a bad posture. So when you push off correctly, your glutes are engaged and all the muscles down through this, what they call posterior chain of muscles, can then engage as well. So in order to get that low back moving a little bit, what we're going to start with is a stretch for the hamstring muscles. We're going to make it really easy on you. We're going to do this seated in a chair. So with another chair in front of you, I'm going to have you do is put one foot up on the chair, toes pointing straight up toward the ceiling. Make sure your shoulders are squared, going straight ahead facing that toe or facing that foot. From this position, I'm going to bend from my waist, not rounding my back. So my chest is going to be forward. I'm going to lean forward like so. If you need to, put your hands here in order to help you hold your body weight up. And you're going to go until you feel just a decent stretch. Don't push it too much. We don't want to overstretch. You're going to find that point where you feel a good stretch here. You're going to take some deep breaths. And with the out breath, just imagine those muscle fibers opening up in through the back of the leg here. And you're going to do this for 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Once you've done that, now we're going to start to stretch out the low back a little bit. There's a few different ways we need to stretch it. So first we want to elongate it, meaning that we want to get those vertebrae to stretch so there's a little more space in between them. So for that, I'm going to recommend what's called a child's pose. This is right out of yoga. What you're going to do is put your hands like so, as if you're on your hands and knees. And from this position, you're going to gently let your butt come back as if you're trying to put it onto your heels. The hands in front, do not let them move. We want to keep them flat on the floor, and that helps to stretch out the low back. Now, the farther you drop your butt back, the more you're going to start to feel a little bit of a stretch in the very low back area. What I'd suggest is you hang out in this area, or hang out in this position. Take some deep breaths in. As you breathe out, imagine your back elongating, stretching your lower back. So you take some breaths in, breathe out, elongate. So in this position, let your head drop down. Take 5 deep breaths. Just imagine that low back elongating, like I mentioned. Now, once you've done that, what we're then going to do is we are going to start to get a little bit more movement in through this area here. And what we're going to do for that is what's called a cat-cow. So this is another yoga move. A lot of these moves out of yoga are really helpful for low back. What I'm going to have you do is first take a breath in, and when you do that, you're going to arch your back as if you're curving your back like a cat. Take a breath in, breathe out, and let your belly drop. So now you start to get the curve the other way. Take another in, let the belly drop. Now when you let the belly drop, also let your butt stick out or push back. This starts to accentuate that stretch in the low back. You're going to do this 10 times. From this exercise, we're then going to go to stretch out actually the muscles in through the abdominal area here, because they tend to shorten when your pelvis is tucked underneath. So the 6-pack in through here. So I'm going to have you lay face down, hands by your side like you're going to do a push-up. This is another yoga stretch called the cobra. From this position, I'm going to have you just push with your hands, but all you're going to do is arch your back. Now, if this creates pain in your low back, just go a little bit, just push a little bit up or go back to that point where you can get a little bit of a stretch and hold that. If you can go farther, go farther. And you're going to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds. Take deep breaths and see if you can't get more and more of a stretch through these six-pack muscles here as you're doing that. Now the last stretch I'm going to give you is for your hip flexors. You're going to do this on each side. The reason for this is that, like I said, when your back gets locked up, that low back, and the butt's tucked under, there's a tendency for the body to lean forward a little bit. This shortens the hip flexor muscles and tends to jam the head of the femur, the thigh bone, up into the socket. So we're trying to hit everything all the way around. So we open this area up so it has maximum movement, but also is mechanically efficient, like I was showing you when you go to push off by taking a step. So we want to open these muscles up, and to do so, I'm going to face straight ahead so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to get up into a sort of lunge position. So my back knee's on the ground, my front foot is on the ground, and I've got my weight primarily on the back leg right now, or the back knee in this case. So a few points that are really important for doing this stretch and getting it right. My back foot, if you can see it, is pointed toward the door here. It's really important because that starts to put a stretch right on this area here of the hip flexors. This is what we're targeting. Now, from this position, that's point one, is the foot turned in. Point two is to tuck your pelvis underneath. I know it seems like it's not in alignment with what we were talking about because we're trying to get more movement in there, but for this stretch it's important. So you're going to tuck your butt underneath, and so you've got one, the foot turned in, two, the butt tucked underneath, and then three, you're going to lean your body weight forward onto the front leg here, while keeping the butt tucked underneath and foot turned in. Now once you get to that point, if you're keeping your body nice and straight and upright from the waist up, you'll start to feel a stretch through the front of the leg here. Some people feel it through the muscles here, but it's also targeting these muscles right in through here of the hip flexor. Once you're in that position, if you can do that comfortably, then what we're going to add is lifting the arm up in front of you and reaching toward the ceiling. That's going to add extra stretch in through here. Hold this position for about 30 seconds, then repeat it on the other side. Once you've gotten used to these stretches and you're doing them on a daily basis, pay attention to the way that you walk. One of the things that's important is when you walk, make sure that you're not tilted forward, meaning you're not breaking at the waist and bending forward. You want to try and elongate your spine as if there's a string attached to the top of your head, lifting you up. Another way to think about it is thinking that you're leading with your chest or your heart. So that allows your shoulders to naturally come back and allows your spine to naturally straighten. The other thing I want you to pay attention to when you're walking is stick your butt out. This is especially important for people that have tightness in their low back and have a tendency to have a straight low back. You want to get that butt out and not tucked under. So that combination is something you can practice while you're walking. So you're elongating the spine, leading with the heart, and sticking the butt out. Add to that your normal walking and make sure you really swing your arms, and you'll start to get the whole low back to move better, get more blood and oxygen in there, and start to unfreeze all those little muscles around the spine so that you can have a normal range of motion in your low back.